Academy's Genius Swordmaster. Chapter 1. The scene opens on a battlefield with a pool of blood everywhere in the battlefield. A man is seen resting his head on the pommel of the sword, surrounded by dead bodies, skulls, and bones everywhere around him. The man is taking deep long breaths and seems to be exhausted. A lot of the soldiers and warriors lay dead on the battlefield as we speak. Some were pierced right through their heart, some were heavily wounded, and all of their dead bodies lie helplessly on that hellish battlefield. The man looks around the battlefield filled with the dead bodies of his comrades. The man expresses his frustration that so many of his comrades are dead. Another sound is heard in the background. The sound praises the strength of the man we saw earlier. The sound expresses that someone identifying as Ahiyuri was careless to think that there was such a strong human like the man. The man seems frustrated towards the sound. He turns towards the source of the sound and exclaims in anger if the bastard was still alive. In the next scene, we see the man who seemed exhausted, standing on a large giant, with his sword drawn out. The large giant is revealed to be the giant Ahiyuri. The giant showed himself in the Empire 20 days ago and wreaked havoc for unknown reasons. The giant Ahiyuri was the last of the three giants. The man stomps on the giant and shouts in anger that because of the giant, half of the empire became a cemetery. The man asks why the giant was still alive. The giant assures the man that he won't be alive for much longer as he, Ahiyuri, will soon return to his side. The man says it's good since the friend of the giants who died before him will be waiting for him. The giant asks if the man was talking about his fellow giants. The man confirms the query of the giants and further assures the giant that he, the man, was talking about the other two who showed up in the empire along with the giant. The man further explains how the other two giants die. According to the man, one of the giants became a fire giant because of a hot-tempered red dragon, and the other giant was sealed for eternity by an old man called Lorhan. The man taunts the giant and asks if the giant realized what a grave mistake the giant has committed by showing up in the empire. The giant sees right through the lies of the man and asks him to stop covering up the truth with his superficial words. He further adds that the children of the star share their senses with one another. That's why he knows that the opponents of other fellow giants were annihilated along with the giants themselves. The giant Ahiyuri is certain that all the strong people like the man are already dead and the empire does not contain other strong men like the man he fought. With his sword drawn on the head of the giant, the man clarifies that he is still alive and he does not know what the giant is talking about. The giant warns the man to not get ahead of himself. The giant is certain that the man's time is reaching its end. The giant expresses his happiness that the man would have become a large obstacle for the giant's, long-cherished wish if the man had realized his skills earlier and put his full potential into training. The man seems frustrated by the words of the giant and the man tells the giant that even if the giant had not said anything he knew that he would have lived a fucked up life. The man curses the giant to shut up and die. The giant praises the man, and tells the man it's alright to be proud. The giant also says that in the end the world of man will also be engulfed by the starlight and disappear. The man gets furious after listening to the giant and strikes a final blow to the head of the giant, killing the giant on the spot. The impact of the attack is so strong that the giant is beheaded and the head flies off. The head flies off behind the man and the man remains still. The man looks towards the pool of blood underneath his legs and wonders what they want him to do about the things that already happened. Remembering the time with his comrades, the man falls to his knees. He remembers those days when he used to have a good time with his comrades. He remembers the time when he fought alongside all his dead comrades. He curses his comrades not in hatred but in anger that they were there to face an enemy which was more than capable to blow them all to pieces. Staring towards the dead body of his comrades, he asks them what kind of pride made them fight until they died. In a tone where it seems he is blaming himself for the death of his comrades, he asks them if they thought all of them were strong just because he was strong. Overpowered by grief, he cries in agony that they should have read the room and run away. Remarking the foolishness of his comrades, he asks them why they battled with the giants who could deflect the empire's strongest aura. He exclaims in grief why his sword was the only one that worked against the giants. He exclaims that if it was not for their pride there would be no way a disciplinary soldier would stand in the front lines. He looks toward the dead body of his comrades and asks them if would they have lived if it was not for their pride. He seems hopeless as he states that he does not know. Amidst his lamentation, a sound asking if anyone is there is heard in the background. The man widens his eyes and turns toward the source of the sound. Again, we hear the source of the sound saying that it can't move because of its injuries. The sound again asks if anyone is there. The man looking towards the source of sound with his wide eyes moves toward the source of sound and exclaims in a sigh of relief that she was still alive. The man addresses the woman as Grand Commander and seems happy that she was still alive. The name of the Grand Commander is revealed to be Adeshan. Chapter 2. The sigh of relief and happiness in his face fades away and disappointment sets in his face. He expresses his disappointment towards the situation and asks if this shall be the condition of someone who is regarded as the Grand Commander. She replies to the man with a sarcastic question about whether he was also a corporal. Here the name of the man is revealed to be Ronan and his rank is revealed to be the corporal. She says that he is also not that great. Grand Commander Adeshan drifts off the conversation to the more important topic. She asks whether Ahiyuti is dead or not. Ronan confirms to the Grand Commander Adeshan that Ahiyuti was killed. He also adds that the body of Ahiyuti is not far from where they are now. Grand Commander gets the crux of the current situation, and with the news of the death of Ahiyuti, she takes a deep breath with a sigh of relief. She thanks Ronan for killing Ahiyuti. Ronan seems confused and speechless. He asks if she would listen to one of his requests if she was that grateful to him for killing Ahiyuti. Adeshan wonders what the request is and asks him to lay out the request. Ronan states that as per the regulation the dead body of disciplinary soldiers are either abandoned or burned, so he requests if they could be treated well this time. Grand Commander expresses her uncertainty toward fulfilling the request as she is wounded badly. She adds that Ronan is more alive than she, so it would be better if Ronan looked after them. Ronan hesitates to handle the situation personally as he is also heavily wounded. Showing the blood that he coughed out in his hands, he asks what she means by more alive. He further adds that he could die any second now. Ronan is disappointed in himself as he was fooling around most of the days and he could not do much. He expresses that it feels unfair that he is going to die. Grand Commander Adeshan asks what will Ronan do if he survives. Ronan smirks and says that he has a lot of things he wants to do, but there is one thing that he can't stop thinking about. He asks Grand Commander what would it be like to go to the academy. Grand Commander seems surprised by the mention of the academy. Ronan replies that he could not stop thinking about the thing that the giant mentioned to him before dying. He also remembers something more important than what the giant said. He remembers that it was his late sister's wish to send him to the academy. Ronan rejoices that he will be reunited with his family soon. Grand Commander was about to mention that the search party will arrive when the rain stops, but Ronan cut her off in the middle and repeated to her that he was already a lost cause. He was trying to ask Adeshan why she keeps saying useless things. The rain slows down and stops. It was raining heavily, but the rain suddenly stopped. Both Grand Commander and Corporal Ronan seem confused as to why the heavy rain and storm stopped suddenly. Ronan feels the ground rumbling, and all of a sudden a giant with 8 wings appears in front of them with an armada of other giants who look similar to Ahiyuti behind it. Ronan seems confused and mumbles in frustration if anybody knows where the giants came from. Adeshan also seems scared and confused. She questions herself if the 3 giants weren't the only ones invading. She mentions something about not being able to save the world a 3rd time. Adeshan seems disappointed as she could not think of anything as now, she had only one last chance left to save the world. As Adeshan is speaking to herself, she gets lost in her mind. Corporal Ronan shouts towards Adeshan and wakes her up from her daydream. He asks what she was doing and tells her to get a hold of herself. He asks her to hurry up and shoot him upwards using telekinesis or any other power she has. He is frustrated that his sword can reach him. Grand Commander seems confused yet surprised and impressed by the determination of the corporal to fight off the enemies. As Adeshan keeps gazing toward Ronan, he again gets her back to reality and asks her if she is not going to kill them. Adeshan asks if he is going to fight in this situation too. Ronan with full of certainty answers that he is going to fight and question back to Adeshan if she just wants to sit still and kick the bucket. Ronan full of pride says that he will be some shit to those bastards even if he is doomed to be dead amidst the situation. Grand Commander is impressed by his courage. She states that they were able to get to this stage because he is such a man who won't give up even in the direst of situations. She wonders if Corporal Ronan is the one. Adeshan calls Ronan. He hesitates to turn back as he is busy with those giants and he shuts up Adeshan. It seems like Adeshan kisses Ronan. Ronan seems confused about the whole situation. In the next scene from a better angle, we see a blue ball-like object being transferred from the mouth of Adeshan to the mouth of Ronan. Ronan asks what Adeshan put in his mouth. Adeshan, in a low voice, says something into the ears of Ronan but it is inaudible to us. Ronan asks what Adeshan was. Ronan is confused and questions what the hell is Adeshan saying in the worst situation like that. Adeshan, who is completely familiar with the power of the orb, makes her last request to Corporal Ronan to stop her from doing anything stupid and tell her to go and become a tailor if they meet each other again. Adeshan smiles and says that she has done a lot of things but nothing quite like what it seems to be kissing Ronan. The giant with 8 wings blasts off both Adeshan and Ronan. In the next scene, we see a huge explosion, blue, pink, white, and a mix of various bright colors. A blue orb which was transferred to Ronan by Adeshan is seen. Ronan is still confused. He calls out for Grand Commander. He is unable to complete his words as he moves his eyes across the surrounding him. It is seen that Ronan is transported to a new location by the ability of the orb. He questions if this place could be his hometown Nimbutan. He wonders if he returned to the past. Chapter 3. Chapter 3 continues with confused Ronan, who was transported back in time, placing the palm of his hand on his forehead. He recollects his memory and thinks about what Grand Commander mumbled in his ears. He remembers his confusion when Adeshan spits the blue orb in his mouth. He asked Adeshan what she put in his mouth. Adeshan at that time mentioned that it was an orb that turns back time. She told him it was how she, Adeshan, who was a tailor once, was able to climb to the position of Grand Commander. She also mentioned that the time orb allows the orb holder to regress a total of 4 times. She mentioned that there is only one chance left as she, the previous holder, already used it. She said that she is handing over the power to slay the giant to him. She said she believed that he was the key to stopping the world's destruction. She requested him to sharpen his ability and she was glad that he also desires to save the world. Grand Commander mentioned that he should go to Phileon Academy if he wants to learn. She added that it's a place with outstanding people and she is certain that it will be of help to him. He also reminisces that she told him to stop her from doing anything stupid and just ask her to be a tailor. Just before she died, she also mentioned that she has done a lot of things but not quite like that. Ronan still seems quite confused. Ronan is so confused that he starts banging his head on the tree and asks if this is real. He asks someone to wake him up if this is a dream. People around Ronan seems confused as Ronan was acting so weirdly. He wonders even if it's real, even if he has come back to the past, what is he supposed to do by himself? Ronan realizes that if this is the past then he must be able to see his older sister. He grabs the stick near him and runs towards his house. He runs through the crowded city. He wonders if he came back then he would be able to meet his sister if he goes a little further. On his way home he sees some punks hanging a child upside down. He is surprised to think that those guys haven't changed in the past either. He looks carefully at the legs of the child. He is amazed to find that the child was hung not by rope but with magic. He is amazed that a person so valuable as that was a rare sight on the battlefield. He can't believe that there's one as valuable as that person in a countryside town. He mentions that this time around, they were here too. The boy who was doing the magic asked the one bullying the child for how long were they going to do that. He is fearful that at that rate something bad will happen to that child. The boy who is hung upside down pleads to stop the bullying. He pleads that he does not have money. He states that his mom's medication this month was expensive. The bully tells the boy that he does not care about his mom's medications. The bully says that he is emptying the child's pockets and tells that he does not care about the child's mom's health. The bully taunts the child by saying that if he wanted to be a filial son, he should have earned more money. The bully turns toward the boy who was doing magic and asks to lift the child to the top of the tree. The magician boy hesitates that if he put him higher and slipped by mistake the child would be injured or dead. The bully bullies the magician boy that he is not a girl so he should not be scared. The bully adds that it's not the magician kid himself who is hanging on the tree. The bully asks Acel, the magician kid, to shut up and lift the hanging child before the bully hangs Acel too for denying him. Acel is terrified and wonders how it became like that. He wonders if it was wrong for him to learn magic. He says that he just wanted to show that he was good at something. He makes his mind up to tell the bully that he can't do it, but, in the meantime, he is too scared to do that. He is confused about whether he should just go along with the bully or deny him. He gathers up the courage and pleads to stop. Ronan from the back pats Acel with his wooden stick. Acel seems surprised and he lets go of the boy from the grasp of his magic. The child falls to the bottom of the tree. The bully turns towards Acel and scolds him. He tells what Acel was doing right then. The bully threatened Acel if he was going to stop just because Ronan said to. The bully asks if it is the whole situation funny to Ronan. Acel pleads and says that he did not do it on purpose. Ronan shouts to Acel that he should stop worrying about the trash like the bully, rather Acel should talk to Ronan. Acel seems surprised to see Ronan. Ronan says that he has something to talk about with Acel. The bully swears to Ronan. Ronan completely ignored the bully and asked Acel where he learned telekinesis magic. Acel in a soft voice responded that he learned it from a grimoire that he bought from a peddler. Ronan is surprised to see that Acel was that good with such a cheap grimoire. Ronan wonders that it is amazing that he will know more after seeing a little more. When Ronan was busy wondering about how he could utilize the powers of Acel to fight against the giants, the bully draws the sword on Ronan. The bully, overpowered by anger and ego, dares Ronan to ignore him. The bully mentions that it seemed like Ronan was acting up since the bully purposefully lost to Ronan back in the day. The bully says today he will correct the manner of Ronan and jumps toward Ronan swinging his sword. Ronan wonders where the bully got the real long sword from. He observes the bully and speaks to himself that the posture of the bully is really bad. He also mentions even though the bully has a bad posture, he is strong and that will work around there. Of course, Ronan easily dodges the attack of the bully. Ronan exclaims with him, "Raw strength won't work." The bully is surprised that Ronan could easily dodge that attack. Ronan thinks in his mind that although his body is younger it is still the same. It is confirmed that he has the battle sense that was instilled in him when he was a disciplinary soldier. The bully states that he was lucky. The bully adds that he was going to make sure he could not even lift a spoon for the rest of his life. Ronan sarcastically replies that he was quite lucky today, even though he had been unlucky his whole life. The bully orders Ronan to get on his knees and beg. The bully promises that he will spare Ronan's life, but he won't let him go fully intact. He will take his arm. The bully adds if he kills Ronan, he will make sure that he treats Ronan's sister well. Ronan angrily asks if he mentioned something about his sister. The bully, in a tone that makes fun of Ronan, confirms that he mentioned Ronan's sister. He even added that he thinks about her round ass and it'd feel so good too. Just when the bully was going to complete his word, Ronan strikes the bully with the stick so hard that the bully's ear got cut off. The underlings of the bully were terrified to see the view where their boss was beaten up by a guy with just a stick and was left wailing on the ground. Ronan curses the bully, with a devilish glare in his eyes. Overpowered by anger, Ronan asks the bully if the bully wants to die.
What lies ahead for them as they venture into this mystical world? What do you think will happen next? Don't forget to hit the like button, comment if you want to continue this series and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.